How are you responding when things happen in your life and at work, when something you weren't expecting goes wrong, when the team isn't performing the way that you want them to, when your manager potentially is breathing down your neck, saying, where's the performance? Where are the results? Where are the sales? Where's the revenue? Where do you find yourself struggling? And where have you seen that your reaction versus your response has taken hold? And this may be nuanced. However, responding versus reacting is very different. Reacting is almost a survival mechanism, it's a reflex. Responding is a thought out, strategic, mindful response to a situation. I'll give you an example. Recently, I found myself in a discussion or a conversation with somebody very close to me, and the person was expressing their needs. And rather than reacting and taking it personally and getting defensive, I listened and I put myself in the person's shoes. And I thought to myself, from this person's perspective, they're absolutely right. And so I looked to see what was the need that we're looking to meet and steered the conversation towards solutions rather than blaming, shaming, and making the person feel bad. And I felt so good after we were done with that call because I know I have been in similar situations where it has not ended well. And primarily, it didn't end well because both parties took each other's feedback very personally and got offended by it. And all of the things that happen when we show up in our egos. I bring up what is happening with you, how are you responding versus reacting, because usually the sign that it's time to take out the trash is how you keep reacting to things. So what do I mean by taking out the trash? During our last women's self-care retreat, we talked about taking out the trash. And if you think about your trash at home, what would happen when you leave the trash sitting around for a long time, especially if you have put things in the trash that decompose? Over the days that go by, the trash begins to reek and you start smelling it and you go, "Ooh, what is that?" So hopefully our trash doesn't get to that point. Sometimes that happens when we go away and we come back and we forgot to take out the trash. Similarly, there is trash in your head that we are not cleaning out daily. And that trash is accumulating over time. So, how do we take out the trash? The number one tool that I can give you to do that is to be self aware and to begin to notice how you are showing up at work, how you are engaging with your team, with your management, with leadership, how you are reacting versus responding in your personal life. And when you do a self-assessment and you say, whoa, I am doing a lot of reaction. I feel like I'm in survival mode. At work, I am snippy and I am short and I'm impatient. Those are all signs that it's time to take out the trash. So on a daily basis, begin a practice of at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, connecting to yourself, do a self reflection and ask yourself, how did I show up today? And you might find that you were good. You feel like you were self aware of what you were doing, what you were saying, how you were responding to people, the words you were using, making sure that you were an empowering listener versus someone who's cutting people off as they are speaking with you, which, by the way, hello, guilty. It has taken me a long time to cultivate this gift of listening to others in my personal life, in my business, and in my coaching business. Of course, that's what I do. In my personal life, I've cultivated this. So I also want to make the distinction that how we show up at work could be different than how we show up in our personal lives. And I want you to think about both in this conversation. So, how are you showing up to work? How are you showing up in your personal life? And if you find yourself, if you're being honest, that you are reacting in many situations versus being mindful and responding and taking a breath and reflecting and not taking things personally and not making assumptions and being impeccable with your word, as Don Miguel Ruiz says with his 4 agreements, and doing your best as a result, then kudos to you. If you find during this self reflection of taking out the trash that you are not doing those things and instead you are feeling crunchy, you are reacting, you are short with people, whatever the case may be, simply give yourself grace and forgiveness. It's so meaningful to do that because if you don't do that, then you beat yourself up. And that is not what this practice and exercise is about. Taking out the trash will allow you to connect with those parts of you that are not showing up the way you want them to. And as the master and the director of your orchestra, you get to direct those parts of you that may be misbehaving. And that's okay. All we need to start with is self awareness. Then, once we have this self awareness, we get to choose what can I do to move forward and stop reacting and begin responding more so and being more mindful. To do this, my friends, it's not difficult because if I said that it was difficult, then that's a belief that it's hard. It is as easy or as difficult as you believe it is. So that's where I want to also introduce this tool to you, which is flip the script. If you tell yourself it's going to be very hard for me to become more mindful about my actions, about the words I use, about my responses, it's going to be really hard for me. I would like for you to reframe that and flip the script by saying something like this: I am going to show up authentically and I'm going to do my best to be in the moment. That's it. That's all you have to do. Notice how there is no pressure, how you give yourself grace throughout this practice, and how you get to decide what's important to you. The only way that you're going to take action on what I am sharing with you right now is if it's impacting your life and your happiness. If you are crushing it, if you feel connected to people and people are giving you positive feedback because you see that you are showing up in an empowering way that supports them, then by all means, you're good to go. However, if you are not seeing the results you want right now in your business, in your leadership career, if you're not leading your team and you don't see them performing at the level that you know they're capable of performing, if you're finding that in your personal life there's a lot of discontentment and conflicts, it's time to take a step back and take responsibility for what is yours in those dynamics. And again, there is no blame or shame. We're simply noticing. So flipping the script means if you catch yourself in a situation where you believe a disempowering belief about what is going on and your ability to respond, flip the script and tell yourself, I have a choice in this situation, and I'm going to choose to remain calm. I'm going to choose to listen on all levels, and I'm going to choose how I behave in this situation, what I say in this situation. And I'm going to watch my words because the words are very, very powerful, as I mentioned in one of my previous trainings. So here we are. Let's take out the trash daily. It will keep you in a great mental hygiene. It will enable you to tap into all of your resources. The most important one of all is your intuition. All of us have such a deep, wise intuition that is constantly waiting for us to ask. And we have to be quiet enough to ask what it is that we need. So take out the trash so that you can tap into that intuition, so you can reflect on what's happening, how you're showing up, and then so you can choose your path forward constructively. All of this cannot be done without a growth mindset. So notice the resistance to doing any of this. Notice the willingness to do this. That is another sign that you have a growth mindset. If you are resisting this and you don't think you can change and that it is what it is, that is the part of you that has a fixed mindset speaking. And I want you to know that we usually have a mixed mindset. No one has a 100% growth mindset and 100% fixed mindset. We dabble between the two, and depending on the area of our lives, it could be fixed or it could be a growth mindset. Pay attention to the words, the attitudes, and the beliefs that you have toward different parts of your life. And where you catch yourself in these things that are what they are, they're not going to change. That doesn't mean that you don't accept what is. Usually that means that you have a fixed mindset. But if you are the kind of person who says, okay, this is a situation and I can't change it, and these are the constructive steps that I can take, regardless of that situation, that is a growth mindset. So taking out the trash is one of the tools that I teach my members to keep their mind available and open and receptive to the opportunities in front of you, to create, being able to build relationships, to being able to approach people in your networks, to have conversations about your vision, your goals, and what it is that you're looking to create and the impact you're aiming to have, and the desires you have, and the dreams you have in your heart. And when we take out the trash consistently, daily, that trash never gets stinky. We are keeping our mental hygiene, just like we brush our teeth every day. Take out the trash between your ears every single day. And when you sit down and you notice the belief system that you're currently living with, begin to do an upgrade. Upgrade the belief system that is currently holding you down, because we must behave in alignment with our beliefs. So if you upgrade your belief system, you will see different results. You will behave differently. You will begin to see your potential so much more than you're currently seeing it, and ultimately live it unapologetically by flipping the script every single time you find that you have this limitation, this limiting way of looking at the world and others and yourself that is holding you back. Similarly, if you are doing excellent and you're crushing it and you're going for it, share it with your network. Share how you think, because this attitude, this growth mindset that you bring to others by seeing possibilities in yourself and themselves, by going for things, by betting and investing in yourself, that is a gift that you give your team, that you give the people in your network. And when you share that gift of how you think, believe it or not, you are inspiring them and role modeling for them what it's like to live like that. And notice that the external world remains the same. The only change is how you see the world and how you see yourself and how you see others. And that is what matters most. So the world, we can't change the external world. We can only do what we can. However, we can drive our own behaviors in ways that align with the kind of woman, man, person, and leader you want to be. And that is my number one goal, for you to explore your most authentic self. And with that, my friends, I want to invite you. We are hosting the Women's Fearless Leadership Masterclass in September. And I want to invite you to join us if you are looking for the type of support that will help you shift to a growth mindset, that will give you the tools and the strategies, along with the expertise that is required to claim your next leadership seat as a female leader. I know that many of you are talented, high performing, rising stars, established in your careers. And many of you are wondering, what do I need to do to claim that next seat? What is it going to take? And I want to help you explore currently what's getting in the way. How can you leverage the keys that I'm going to give you, put them in your pocket to open the doors of opportunities, and to then take action intentionally, strategically, and in a way that will build a bridge to where you want to go. And it's so much easier to do that when you have the support of a community, of your own leadership and executive coach. I am here to help you in any way that I can. And all you have to do is, if you've joined us in the past, look out for our email and just click the link that says I'm in, and we will save your VIP seat. And if you've never joined us before, this is your first time, go to fearlessleadershipmasterclass.com and reserve your complimentary VIP seat. Live with purpose, live with joy. I can't wait